For the past 15 years, we're talking a lot about SEO and content. This almost like breadcrumb approach where you're like, hey, if we can sprinkle our message in really shallow ways across the internet, people will find themselves to our website where we can engage and convert in this user journey mindset of moving people to you. Does that work anymore?
Absolutely. That has not fundamentally changed. It's just that you can't prove it. And what that journey looks like has changed. For a huge number of businesses, that journey was extremely similar for the first maybe 97 to 2017, let's say. Those 20 years, it was almost always start with a search, because there wasn't a whole lot of other ways to consume content on the internet until maybe 2010 and Facebook and Twitter started getting big. So you would perform a search in almost always Google, and then you would find your way to some content, almost always on somebody or several somebody's websites. And then you might subscribe to that content via their blog or email. And then you would consume that content. You'd learn to know them, like them, trust them. You might follow them on their social channels, and then eventually convert to a sale or subscription. That cycle was really familiar and similar across industries and networks. Over the last 8 to 10 years, it has diversified massively. It's changed so much. And unfortunately, the stickiness of that early model is still in a lot of people's brains. Not necessarily exclusively search focused, but very much there's a top of the funnel, there's a middle of the funnel, there's a bottom of the funnel, there's channels at each one of those, there's tactics that we should use, there's a playbook that everybody should follow. And that's not the case. I saw a great LinkedIn post with a visual of a pinball machine. And the pinball machine had all of these different bumpers and flippers and little alleyways that the ball would go through. And the analogy was perfect for the marketing funnel. It's no longer a funnel. It's no longer top, middle, bottom. It is now you bounce around from, oh yeah, I'm consuming content on Instagram. I pop over to Reddit. I see something in my email. I see something in the real world. I catch a radio ad. I hear a podcast. I see something on YouTube. A friend of mine mentions it to me. And before that conversion at the bottom, it is not mappable. And just exactly to your point, your goal is essentially to spread your brand and your message in all these places that the pinball might hit, and be present in those places, even though you will not be able to measure, or at least imperfectly measure, which ones are part of any given sale.
In sort of compounding that, a lot of the thought leadership that you and Amanda have put in market around this concept of zero click. So even just moving people from those platforms, they're going to move naturally on their own or stay within those platforms. But God forbid you try to pull them out of the platform into you.
Two reasons for that. When we talk about zero click, one thing that's happening is the platforms themselves limiting, prohibiting, or making algorithms that biased against links. Instagram, for example, the only place you can put a link is in a story. And even then, Instagram sends out like 0.01% of its traffic. ChatGPT answers. You will almost never see a link in there. Google's AI overviews. Google is restricting the traffic that's coming out of there. I don't know if you saw this. I just saw it yesterday, but their new AI mode does not pass a refer string when it sends a click to your website. So if there's a link, you will not know that it came from Google's AI mode. How flippin' crazy is that? By the way, they're not the only ones doing this. Slack, when Slack sends you any referral traffic, no refer string. TikTok, no refer string. The only place you can put a link in TikTok is in the profile. So if I click on Dan Baptiste on TikTok, I can see a link in your profile. If I click that, TikTok won't tell your website that TikTok sent that visit. And there's tons of these. Facebook Messenger doesn't send it. Reddit sends a limited amount. LinkedIn restricts about 15%. I don't know why exactly, but all of these platforms limiting. The second reason is not a platform reason. It's a human reason. People are trained. We are socially conditioned on our phones to go like this, but not like this. For those of you who can't see me, I am scrolling. We do a lot of scrolling. We do some swiping. We don't do tapping. Click and go to another platform. I hate it. I should never need to use this button on my mouse, right? I only want to use this one.
Make it easy. I gotta swim around the ball.